Hey, it's Mark Linger with your video thought for the day. So, what are you planning on eating today? I love to eat chicken. Dalgogi, which is chicken meat in Korean. I love it so much. I've learned the Korean word for it just in case I'm ever in Korea and I need to eat some dalgogi, some chicken. I'm going to be able to get it. I have no clue what they may say in response when I tell them that's what I want, but I can order chicken in almost every language. I like my chicken. Now, by the time of Jesus, they had chickens in Judea. Chickens aren't written up much in the Old Testament. I don't think they're written up at all because chickens came over from Asia somewhere between the end or toward the end of the Old Testament into the New Testament. There may be some archaeological evidence for them a little bit earlier than the Old Testament ended. Anyway, I've digressed already. I'm talking about chickens and I went down a rabbit trail. All right, here's the deal. They did eat a lot of fowl in biblical times. They would trap wild fowl, and you'll read a lot of passages about the fowler's snare or a net laid for birds. But they also had domesticated birds that they would eat the eggs from, and they would eat those domesticated birds. So it's not surprising that they dealt in birds. And that brings about a New Testament passage that Jesus said in Matthew chapter 10, which is your video thought for the day. And that is one that where Jesus is talking about the reason we have no need to fear. And that's where he says in verse 30 that the hairs on your head are numbered. And then in verse 31, or even, no, it's verse 29, it's right before it. He says, two sparrows are sold for a penny. I mean, think about it. Sparrows are pretty small, so you're not like getting a lot of meat. Once you pluck the feathers off, take the bones off, take the skin off, not a lot there. But two sparrows are sold for a penny. And then Jesus says, yet not one of them, not even one, will fall to the ground apart from your Father, God. You get two for 1 penny, which is as cheap as it's coming. I mean, you get not even one for a penny, you get two for a penny. That makes one sparrow worth like almost nothing. And yet that one sparrow doesn't fall to the ground without God knowing it. And then Jesus hits that home run pitch when he says, so you don't need to be afraid of others. You don't need to be afraid in this life if you trust yourself to God, because you're worth more than that halfpenny sparrow. I love that passage. I love that passage because it affirms not only my value to God, but it affirms the way his interest in me is stronger than anything out there that might be seeking my ultimate harm. So as I bring Bird Week to a close, I want you to nest in this wonderful, all-enveloping love and care that God has for you and for me. We have nothing to fear. We have God as our refuge. And that can take all of us into the weekend as our video thought for today.